don't know if we'll actually be able to see much, but thought I could turn the camera around and just do a drive-by through Kensington here. And I don't like spending time here really. I like being alone out in the woods or in nature or some place. But I also think it's important to come here sometimes because it's a real like focal point on reality. Um, I don't know if we're really seeing anything here, but there's just thousands of drug addicted people out here living on the street and in tents and just everywhere. And it reminds me of The Matrix when Morpheus is like, "This is the desert of the real." Like, it's easy to forget what's going on here and be concerned with like all these abstract problems. But I feel like being here sometimes puts everything in focus, where it's like it really is spiritual war. It's spiritual warfare, and everyone in society has been affected by it and traumatized. See, this dude's fixing up right here. Here you're gonna see like shit really popping off under the L down here. And I might double back and go up Allegheny and just see what's going on, even though I have somewhere to be pretty soon. We got the crew always hanging out down here. Basically, all these thousands of people down here that have nowhere to live and nowhere to go and are just addicted to drugs. Another thing I've been thinking about a lot is these people, like, were literally all abused. Like 98% of these people um, were like raped or molested. Not to be like overly, I know it's very uncomfortable to talk about, but 98% of these people, like these severe drug addicts, were abused. It's like severely abused as children. And if they weren't molested or raped, they were in some other way um, severely abused. But I also, and I know this sounds really crazy, but I also feel like even though it's so bad for a lot of these people, they're at least in a position where they recognize like the problem. Because basically, we're all subject to um, this trauma, this like mass societal trauma. And these people have the best chance of anyone of like waking up in a way because it's like unavoidable. Like the problem is brought to the forefront of their consciousness. So they actually have the best chance of like recognizing the spiritual war and winning or like advancing, in terms of awareness. But it's like a trade-off. Like everything's always balanced because we're all really subject to this trauma. It's like a whole world spiritual war, a whole societal thing. But most people if they haven't suffered as much like acutely, they're still suffering the same trauma, but it's not as obvious. It's just like buried down deep in their consciousness, whether they're on medication or um, like trying to fulfill themselves with material things. Everyone has this like emptiness, this addiction, even if it's not to drugs, just to, I want to say life, but it's not really life. It's like what we think life is, which is like controlling other people and benefiting at other people's expense. And this just like taking more than you need, just this parasitic mindset. And it's almost like people go either of two ways. Like everyone has been subject to this mass societal trauma. And they either turn like inwards on themselves and like self-abuse and addiction, or they turn outward and abuse like the whole reality, which doesn't necessarily even mean like what people would blatantly consider abuse, but just working for like, oh, I work for Lockheed Martin. There's nothing wrong with that. Or I work for Pfizer, or so on and so forth. I make a lot of money. Like that is abusing, like on some level, you know that there's something really, really wrong here. And yeah, what I'm saying is at least these people, it's like it's clear that there is a problem at least. So another aspect, and the another thing I want to say about spiritual warfare and like how just all these people were abused. Like that is how people end up as drug addicts or addicts of any kind, or really like damaged people, is they were abused as children. And like it's a huge like I haven't really shown you the swarms out here, but like there's like just thousands and thousands of people like zombified on the street, and it's just craziness. But the point of it is like of the abuse is to like infect everyone in society. Like I was reading something about the McMartin case recently, the McMartin preschool case, and something that wasn't McMartin. No, it was the Presidio. I was reading something about Presidio, which was a military base, which was like similar to McMartin, where all this crazy abuse allegations happened. And a lot of the parents of the kids were like military officers and stuff. But something that just stuck out to me that came up over and over again was the parents, like a lot of the dads were like military dudes and stuff, and they just kept saying over and over again, I want to blow someone away. I want to blow the base away. I want to blow this person or that person. I just want to blow the whole thing away. Like, and that is like, it just struck me like, oh yeah, that is really the point of the spiritual war. And like the abuse is like, yeah, someone is getting like some sort of sick gratification on a physical level, like the humans, but on the spiritual level, it is like to infect everyone with this mindset of like the dads being like, I want to blow someone away. I want to blow, like, it's just like to infect you with this just like chaotic destruction mindset to get you to the point where you will just snap. And basically engage in like the same, you know what I mean? But there's also like it's not talked about enough. Like and also like I haven't been fucking everywhere, but I assume it's similar to like San Francisco and shit in Kensington. But Kensington is just insane. It's like the biggest open air drug market in the world. Like look up YouTube channels like I don't know, just about Kensington, Philadelphia. Like there's you it's a known thing. There's YouTube people who are not familiar with it are like I can't believe this is like going on. And there's police everywhere too. It's like a completely condoned, just open on air drug market. Just like dead bodies, you see dead bodies and like one time I was driving through with my wife who had like never been down here before. I think we were visiting my friend or something. And I saw like way far up a dead body laying on the street, and she was like, "Stop the car! I think I want to get out and see what's wrong with that man." I was like, he's dead." She's like, "No, he's not. He's not dead." Like everyone just walking past the body, like no one cares or stops or looks down or anything. And we got like closer up. She's like, "Oh my god, that is a dead body!" Like it's just like horrific, you know? It's just like clearly, and the amount of people. Okay, so all these people were abused. You could debate that with me if you want, but that's what's happening. That's how people end up like that. They were severely abused as children. We need to at some point come to terms with like how is there such a massive child abuse problem? Like who are these people? Because it's so prevalent that, and I'm not being an apologist at all, but it's to the point where like you're not going to be able to be like, we need to execute all these people. Like that attitude, number one, that is what they want you to do. Like on a spiritual level, that is the point of the spiritual war, is to force you to that snapping point of like, I just want to blow someone away. And also, so how is this problem so massive? Like, how are this many hundreds of thousands of people being abused as children? Like, and like, in order to uncover this and do something about it, that is also the attitude they want. It's like we need to hang all these people, execute them, because that is like just drives it all underground. Like we're not going to get the answers we need like that. We're not going to get the exposure we need like that. It needs to be something like, I don't know what the answer is. Like maybe these people for sure need to be put under some sort of lifetime. I'm talking about the abusers, not the drug addicts. Some sort of lifetime psychiatric treatment, but like therapy, you know, and like observation and guidance. Like they can't just get 6 months probation and let out, and they also can't get the opposite of that. Like just, oh, give them all the death penalty. Like that is not gonna work ever. That's never going to work. And that is what they want. Yeah, the opium war, I've thought about that. Like, has there ever been a time in history where people were so there were this many people like this fucked up? I don't know like a better way to say it, but like addicted to drugs, addicted to sex or whatever, like gambling, everything. I'll focus on drugs right now. But I understand this has always gone on, but it seems to me that it's reaching like a tipping point where like it's almost no, it is a majority for sure. There's different levels of it. Like not everyone is on the street smoking crack and shooting dope, but like there's so many people addicted to just pharmaceutical drugs and being on their phones and the internet and like the pharmaceuticals alone, we're gonna really be getting into like this next few blocks here is like heavy duty shit. I just don't know if there's ever been a time in history where there was this size of like a tumor on society. And I'm not speaking about these people like we got to get rid of these addicts or a tumor. I mean like the spiritual tumor. Like they're the victims of it. They're just like the symptom of it. Like that it's grown this out of control. Like I just don't know. I don't know how much you're gonna be able to see out here, but everywhere it's just people shoot up openly on the street. People sell drugs openly. There is police in certain areas, but the police are just like only here to number one, like keep everyone here, like to keep them in this general like area. And number two, to maybe protect any like normal people that happen to be down here for whatever reason. Like they need to go to like, I don't even know, like some certain bank or some place. They have some business down here to make sure that like, you know, people can conduct whatever normal business down here that they need to, little bit they need to, that aren't the normal drug addicts. Just like, how can this go on, you know? It's the worst I've ever seen it too. Like it's always been like this. But it's the worst it's ever been. Like every vacant spot is like filled with tents. Every covered area is just like people lined up like sardines. Look at this. They're giving out testers or what's going on. Shit is just off the fucking chain. Anyway, I think that's all I really have. I think that's all I really have to say. I just thought I would do a little drive-by of like shooting up. Just open air shooting galleries. Like what? What's going on? What are we gonna do here? Why are there so many abused people? And what do we do about it exactly? Right? I wish I could show the other side of the fucking street. The shit is just wild as fuck. I'm not sure what else to say exactly. All right, I'm signing off. I think that's all I really got.